Good evening. Welcome to Wombledon. Right, I've come indoors now. It's cold, damp and horrible outside, late October. So I've come indoors and what I'm going to do is put an airlock on this barrel of apple juice rather, that you saw me making earlier. It's 60 litres, probably 60 kilos there or thereabouts. And also I'm going to measure the potential alcohol that we'll get from the juice. So stick around and I'll show you how it's done. The first thing I'm going to do is make an airlock for the fermenting vessel. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the camera over and we're going to look at a lot closer at what's going on. So you're going to get some close-up shots. Now I'm a habitual fingernail biter, which is something that's probably a vestige of my youth, whatever. So you will see bitten fingers. I apologise for that. They're clean. I've been washing them all day long as I've been working. But yeah, so they cause me a little bit of embarrassment. Hopefully they don't cause you too much grief. So yeah, I'm going to move the camera over onto the table here and I'm going to show you what we do. First things first then, I'm going to take off the lid, and as you can see inside there, if I take it off gently, I don't want to rock it about too much, that is what we pressed earlier on. I'm going to just put this over it. This is to stop any of the ever-present fruit flies that are around going for a swim. And I'm going to give this a quick rinse over here. You can't see me. Just giving it a quick rinse. To clean it off like that. Then what I'm going to do, now I know that this pipe here that I bought is 11 millimeters external. I think it's about 8 millimeters internal, so that must mean that the wall's 1.5 millimeters. So what I need to do is get it through this thick plastic. So what I've got is a drill bit, which is a wood bit, at 10 millimeters. And so all I'm going to do, turn that over, and I'm going to go there we go, and you can see I've got a nice circular hole there. Just run it through again just to make sure it's clean, and then I'll just take a little craft knife like this, just clean that off. That, less important on the outside. Okay, and I'm just going to give it another quick clean off. So there we go, there's the hole. I don't know if you can see the hole. There, you can see the hole. There it is. There's the hole. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push this piece of 11 millimeter hose, which is rubberized, it's soft, through that 10 millimeter hole, and that will cause it, and I'm saying this, I've done it earlier, it worked. There we go. He says. There we go. And there it's through. So you can see it there, either side. And you can see, I can just hold it up like that. You can see that that is a sealed connection. So the next thing I do is give it another quick rinse. Cleanliness may be next to godliness, but when you're making cider, it's, as you've seen, it's not the cleanest of processes. I mean, that doesn't even look that appetizing at the moment, does it? Got bits of apple floating around in it. It tastes gorgeous though. Okay, so I'm going to put the top back on. I'm going to seal it up like that. So that's now sealed all the way around the outside. And then the next thing I use is one of these, is a glass of water. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to curl that into there, like this, and you've got an airlock. I'll get a closer picture of that so you can see what it is. And what will happen is any of the gases that are trying to escape, the carbon dioxide as the yeast consumes the sugar, will come up this pipe, they'll push through there and they'll bubble out of there. So you can see what I've done here. I've put this pipe in which should allow, hopefully, carbon dioxide to exit through the pipe all the way around, underneath there and back out until it'll bubble. Now, you've probably seen demijohns and things like that, and they've got these little intricate things, but they're only 5 litres. This is 12 times the amount. So we need to be able to expel those bubbles a lot quicker. So this is 8 millimetres internal diameter, and it'll pump that carbon dioxide, I keep wanting to say air, it's not air, it's carbon dioxide, through this pipe and into this water. And by the same token, because it is below the water's edge, it'll stop the microbes from getting in there and causing the apple juice to spoil. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in there with these other 2 containers, which are 200 litres each. So I've got 400 litres already in there. So we'll have 460 litres at 500, British standard bottles. That's, what's that, 800, 920 bottles worth of cider. And all of it's been free. All of it has come from the trees that we see at the side of the road. So I'm going to move it over there. Then the next thing I'm going to do is move on to how we actually measure the amount of alcohol that we should expect out of this juice. So next time you'll see me, I'll be over there. Oh God, it's heavier than it looks. Cider makers shuffle that. Okay. And you can see it's actually already bubbling. It's already trying to bubble. If I press that, nothing happens. There you go. There's your bubbles. So to find out the potential alcohol in the juice, what we're going to do is use a hydrometer. And this measures the relative density of a liquid. There's a lot of science that's goes into it, so have a look online if you want to find out what that is. But essentially, sugar water, apple juice, anything like that, syrup, is denser than water. This, if you put water in there, would measure 1.0000. If it was at 20 degrees and it was pure water, but it's about 1.000. Sugar water, apple juice, syrup, whatever you want to call it, all of these things, they are denser. This is a more viscous liquid, if you like. So when we put it into this test tube and we put the hydrometer into it, it will sit higher. It's designed to be able to show us. So what I'm going to do is take some of the juice from this bucket that I saved earlier, and I'm going to put it into the test tube. It should be 20 degrees. It's probably about 15 in here at the moment. So it's not going to give us 100%, but it's homemade cider. We just want to get a sort of an idea. And all I'm using is one of these turkey basters. These are about £1 from the pound shop. So I'm going to suck up some of that, put it into the test tube, and we'll take a measurement. Okay, so it's all well and good messing around outside, getting all the juice and everything, but we'd like to know how much alcohol is in the liquid that we're creating. So what I've got here is the hydrometer, and it's sitting in this test tube, and that's full of juice that we pressed earlier on today. And all the hydrometer does is it measures the density of the liquid. Obviously, this has got sugar in it. So you can imagine something like syrup, which has got a lot of sugar in it, is going to be really, really dense. Now, I don't know what the exact measurements are, but at the moment, this is sitting at, and I'll have to spin it a little bit. It's difficult to show you because it's moving around, but that is sitting around 1.0, it's not going to focus on that, is it? 1.055. I don't know what those numbers mean, don't know how they relate to anything else, but 1.055 is 0.055 more dense than water, which is 1.000. So all we need to do then is we take the 0.055 and we're trying to get it back. So eventually we want it to be sitting like this. This is, there we go, I can hold it there, like that. Put the pencil down, that doesn't help, does it? It should be sitting around there. Once all the yeast, once all the sugar has been consumed by the yeast, it should be sitting somewhere around there. 1.0000, sorry, 00, whatever. So what we need to do, and I've got a piece of paper here, it's got notes on from something else. So what we're going to do is 1.055 minus 1.000, which is obviously going to give us 0.055. Okay, there's the maths. Okay, and my nasty fingernails, sorry. And so what we then do is we multiply that by, so we multiply that by 131.25. Don't ask me why, that's just the numbers that we use. So there we go. So we've got 0.55 multiplied by 131.25. And that should give us, or it does give us, 7.2, it's actually 18, but 22. So that 7.22 at the bottom there should be our final alcohol by volume reading. So that's not bad. 7.2, that's pretty good. If it can actually go a little bit lower, it can get less dense than water. If the yeast is particularly aggressive, it'll take it a little bit lower, so we might get a little bit higher, but I'm really happy with that. 7.22, that's a pretty strong cider. So that's pretty much it. I'm going to go over there and do some of the sort of YouTube stuff, you know, the like, share thing, and show you some of the bits and pieces, teasers for the next videos and that. But I'm going to pour the rest of this into the bucket, and I'll see you in a second. So that's pretty much it. I've got the barrels sitting in there, and I'm just going to wait now. The sugar that's in there has got to be consumed by the yeast, natural yeast that just is everywhere. And it's going to turn it into alcohol. We'll test it every now and then. We'll take some measurements along the way, but it's quite a long process. It should take 3-4 months. Now the two at the back there that you can see here, these two, they've been going for about a month and a half. So I might be able to show you some of the stuff on those as we go along. But in the meantime, you might have seen these in the background. And these are the boxes that I make to store my bottles in. Now these bottles, they're really dusty and they need a good clean. But I make these bottles because when you're making nearly 1,000 bottles of cider a year, you need some way of storing them. So check my other video out, which I'll be doing at some point in the future, to see how to make these boxes, stack on top of each other and store 12, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, actually 20 bottles of cider in. Thank you very much for watching. If you like what I'm doing, please like, please subscribe, please share it. You know, it's just me trying to get by, really. Thank you very much. I'll see you next time.